CanAlaska Uranium is a junior explorer focused in the Saudi Arabia of uranium, which is the Athabasca Basin in northern Saskatchewan. That's where you find all these large Tier 1, very high-grade uranium deposits like Cigar and MacArthur, and we're well-positioned in the eastern Athabasca Basin around all that critical infrastructure of Cameco and Oranos, the Key Lake, McLean Lake, and Rabbit Lake milling operations. So we are well-situated to make any discovery fit into that infrastructure very quickly and in a very good way. So, CanAlaska is that company focused on uranium. It's in our name. And why do we need it? Because 3 kilograms of uranium oxide fuel is this cube volumetrically. That's 1 million kilowatt hours of energy you can hold in your hand. It'll run your average household needs for 100 years. So the energy density is extreme, and this is exactly why we do what we do, because we're a believer that you need this as part of the future, and here we are. Yeah, the projects in our portfolio really are second to none. We've got over 350,000 hectares of land, again, mostly in the eastern Athabasca Basin. Importantly, we've got our West MacArthur project, which is a joint venture with Cameco Corporation. We own 83% of that project, and we've been drilling high-grade mineralization for the last 18 months since we discovered our Pike Zone. We've been drilling grades as high as 25% uranium, which is exactly what you want to see in one of these large, very high-grade Athabasca-type deposits like MacArthur or Cigar. So we're going to be focused on that this year. Our second project, Moon Lake South joint venture with our partner Denison. We own 25% of this project. We hit a very high-grade mineralized zone about 8 months ago. We announced it to market, and we're moving that forward fairly aggressively this year as well. So we've got 2 great assets on the go in the east around all that infrastructure. And guess what? We got a 3rd intercept on our Geeky project, the 2nd ever drill hole on that project with our partner Basin Energy out of Australia. We drilled 0.27% uranium in the 2nd ever hole. So great outcomes from our portfolio in the last year, and we're looking to move that forward aggressively in the coming months. So the Titan Uranium Project is situated on one of the main corridors, which is host to Hurricane, the Larock Lake deposit of Cameco's. It stretches all the way across the Athabasca Basin. So it's part of a mineralized corridor. So we staked that as part of a competitive staking process, and within a couple of months, we turned that into value for our shareholders by turning that staking into share ownership of Costa Resources, which is going to take it on as part of their portfolio in that region. So it was a really good deal for us to get an early concept moved into some sort of valuation for our shareholders and upside potential in what is an incredible uranium market coming with a great explorer in Costa Resources. 2024 is going to be a really good year for CanAlaska. We're going to be very busy. We just raised $12 million. $7.5 million is budgeted for West MacArthur. We're going to move our Pike Zone discovery forward and look outward from Pike Zone. Remember, we're looking for something that might be a few kilometers in length here, pearls on a string. So we're going to be focused on that really in the first half of the year and moving into the summer. Then we're going to take about $3 million or $2.7 million and put it into Moon Lake South. Now, we only own 25% of that, so we're going to have just 25% of that $2.7 million, but that's going to be another focus for us in our portfolio. And then we're going to start moving some of our large portfolio forward, getting it ready for those first drill programs and ultimately moving it toward discovery or future deals for the company to bring in value. So, yeah, it's going to be a great 2024 ahead. Well, how much runway that gives us, that really sets us up for a great 2024. We've got an incredible set of results to follow up on. It will be focused through the year on moving those forward. So we've got probably 12 to 18 months easily of runway in front of us. That funding will carry us through that period. And we anticipate in this great uranium bull run that seems to be upon us at $106 a pound, we expect to have access to more capital moving forward. So we're in very good shape with $15.6 million in the bank today. And we're going to have 4 drills turning in Q4. It's going to be an incredible year in front of us, and it's just amazing to be well-funded. It's amazing to be able to put that capital to use, ultimately on 2 high-grade discoveries and perhaps a 3rd. Well, I've been in this space for 30 years. 30 years, since about 1994 and even before as a student. So I've been through the last run, and it was built on hype. This run is built on rock-solid fundamentals. Not only do you have the acceptance of nuclear energy as a green form of energy. That's a change in the last few years, but it's also moving towards, towards being deployed on a global scale. And small modular reactors, or SMRs, are great, and they're going to move forward at an incredible pace on a global scale. and that's going to take more uranium fuel. So it's just shaping up to be just an incredible scenario where you just going to flat out need more fuel. And not only are SMRs going to be important, it's going to be the larger build-outs, which continue, but also restarts and refurbishments. None of this is factored into the demand curve because we don't know how to predict it yet, especially the SMRs. So what is the gap? Well, the estimate over the next 20 years or so would be a 1.5 billion pounds of shortfall. That could even be, it will be actually higher than that. To put that into context, that's 2 complete McArthur River deposits put into drums going to the utilities for fuel. That's an incredible scenario that honestly was going to be hard to achieve. And that's just going to drive the price and drive the momentum. And this is why I say this is not going to be a few years. This is going to be a decade, maybe 2, to build out all this infrastructure, get the fuel converted into the power plants, generate that clean energy that the world craves, needs, and quite frankly, must do in order to clean up the environment. Well, CanAlaska really is focused in the Athabasca Basin. That's where I believe another Cigar, McArthur, perhaps Arrow or Eagle Point is going to be discovered in this cycle, perhaps earlier than not, and could be in our portfolio as well. But CanAlaska is built on quality assets, in the right location, tier 1 potential, intersecting very high-grade mineralization on multiple projects, and we've got the team to deliver and go out and make those discoveries. We've got a team that's built from ex-chemical and Orano geoscientists. They've all been part of major discoveries in the Athabasca Basin. I'm confident they know what they're looking for. The results of the last 18 months are directly a result of their activity and their understanding and their knowledge. And here we are. We're moving them forward in 2024 and beyond into a market that is truly incredible. So watch CanAlaska. We're in the right space at the right time with the right people, with the right land, and the right partnerships in Cameco and Denison, among others. It's an exciting time to be part of CanAlaska, and please join us for that ride.